Hello and welcome to video 4.2. In this video we're gonna add keyboard controls. We're gonna take a look at capturing keyboard click events, adding actions to specific keyboard click events, and avoiding cases in which the mouse cursor location overrides keyboard events. In the previous video we've added mouse controls to the game. Now we want to add similar controls using the keyboard, so that the game will be playable by mouse or by keyboard. Unlike mouse events, which are based on the location of the mouse cursor, keyboard events work differently. The stage listens to keyboard events and gets a key code for the key pressed. What we need to do is listen to specific key codes which we need for the movement of the paddle. So we need the key code for the left arrow, the key code for the right arrow, and the spacebar. Now these values are: key code left is 37, key code right is 39, and the spacebar is 32. Now keyboard events start when a key is pressed, and are also called when a key is let go. So in order to know if the paddle needs to move left or needs to move right, or if a key is being pressed or a key was just released, then we're going to use Boolean variables, which will let us know the direction of the paddle. We'll have keyboard move left equals false, and keyboard move right equals false. When the user will click the right arrow, we'll change it to true. When the user will leave the right arrow, we'll change it to false. Same goes for the keyboard move left. When the user will click the left arrow, we'll change it to true. And when the user will leave the left arrow, we'll change it to false. Now we need to add the handlers for the key down and key up events. So we're going to add the handlers. Right window on key up. We'll have the key up handler, which we'll create soon. And the window on key down, we'll have the key down handler, which again we'll create soon. The key down handler receives as a parameter an event, which one of its internal variables is the key code. The key code of the key that was just clicked. So we're going to use a case switch. We're going to check if the key clicked is key code left, then the keyboard move left will be true. If the key which was clicked is the right arrow, then keyboard move right will be changed to true. If the spacebar has been clicked, then we're going to call the start level function, which we'll create soon. We'll end each of these cases with a break. And that's it for the key down handler. Now, the key up handler receives an event which has the key code parameter, which lets us know which key was just released. So, if the key code left is received, then it means the user let go of the left arrow, then keyboard move left equals false. If the user just let go of the right arrow, then keyboard move right equals false. That's it for the key up handler. So in summary, we have a key down handler which listens for left, right, and spacebar, and the key up handler, which listens to the left and right arrows. Once we click the spacebar, we need to call the start level function. The start level function will do something similar to what the click on stage function did in the previous video. So we're going to create a start level function, and we'll basically take everything we created in the previous video in the stage mouse down and add it to a function. This way the mouse events and the keyboard events will be able to use it. Now we have a small problem. Now that we have keyboard events alongside the mouse events, sometimes they overlap. So for example, even though I click the left arrow on the keyboard or the right arrow on the keyboard, I still have the logic that the location of the paddle is supposed to be the location of the mouse cursor. So that means that even though I click on the left arrow, the paddle will always return to the location of the mouse. So we need to handle this situation. So what we're going to do is, instead of using this command here, meaning in each frame change the location of the paddle according to the location of the mouse, we're going to take this command and we're going to call it only if the mouse actually moved. So we're going to use stage on. We're going to listen to the event stage mouse move, and we're going to create a function which will include the command we just removed from the tick function. So what this means, that only if the mouse was actually moved do we need to move the paddle according to the mouse. Otherwise, the keyboard events can still work. So the user is able to start playing the game with the mouse, and then switch to keyboard, and then switch to mouse, and back and forth. Now the last thing we need is handle the movement of the paddle using the keyboard. Go to the tick function, and we're going to state here, if keyboard move left variable equals true, then we want the X of the paddle to move 5 pixels to the left. If the keyboard move right variable equals true, then we want the paddle to move 5 pixels to the right. Now let's test the game. This time I'll play only by keyboard. As you can see, I'm not moving the mouse cursor. I'm clicking only on the right and left arrows. When I'll click the spacebar, the game will start. Once again, click the spacebar and the game will start again. If you find the game difficult when using the keyboard, then maybe you can change the speed of the paddle. Instead of moving 5 pixels, we can move it 10 pixels. Congratulations! Now you've added keyboard events to the game. In the next video, we'll discuss mobile support.